Good afternoon, everyone. Yesterday, a mere 500 meters from this venue at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, 90 students from 15 different UK universities, many of whom are in the audience today, came together in a model NATO crisis simulation in order to deal with an extreme natural disaster, resulting in an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. This was a crisis which tested the resolve and resilience of the alliance. I am now going to hand you over to two of the participants in the model, Capucine Guillet and Vida Costa, who will tell you how things went. Capucine.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here today and a great opportunity to speak to such a distinguished audience as well. As Mark said, we dealt with a catastrophic natural disaster, embracing an earthquake in Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria, with repercussions across the Mediterranean, notably in Italy. Unusually, these events also extended to the mid-Atlantic because of the geological fault lines that lie through the Mediterranean into the Atlantic Ocean. This had devastating consequences for the Canary Islands, involving a huge landslip into the sea, initiating a tsunami that was predicted to hit a number of littoral states of the Atlantic, both member countries and non-member countries. We were aware that NATO has some experience in managing natural disasters, but the scale of the events that we had to deal with was very much beyond NATO's purview. So the main challenge for us was to configure the alliance and decide upon priorities, aware that this crisis could not be reversed, but that it was one that we had to contain in order to minimize the loss of life and to deal with the humanitarian fallout. In the model, we did this through 3 committees, which replicated those of the Military Committee, the Civil Emergency Planning Committee, and the North Atlantic Council. And for the outcome of their work, I will now hand over to Vida.
Thank you, Capucine. And good afternoon to everyone. It is wonderful to be here today with you. As you've just heard, our model NATO had to deal with a disaster that was beyond any one agency's capacity to deal with on its own. However, NATO has substantial resources that it can deploy in cases of natural disasters. Despite the gravity of the crisis they were facing, I am pleased to say that our 3 committees demonstrated NATO's unwavering commitment to its 3 core tasks: collective defense, cooperative security, and crisis management. Framed by these 3 core tasks, we were able to respond to the immediate crisis points, taking into consideration both the urgent and the long-term consequences for the stability and security of the alliance. Delegates were mindful that amidst this crisis, national interests had to be attended to, but nonetheless, they managed to find common ground and arrive at a consensus. We used all our resources of diplomacy to overcome national differences, as well as to arrive at cooperative arrangements with other international organizations, notably the European Union. So demonstrating the importance of working together in order to ensure we are prepared to overcome any challenges that might come our way in the future. The diplomatic, political, and logistical challenges of dealing with a disaster of such severity and scale was a particularly rewarding learning opportunity. I strongly believe that in order to engage the future generation of political, military, and diplomatic leaders, we need to ensure that young people have the ability to benefit from the sort of learning opportunity we were fortunate enough to experience yesterday. Thank you.